I gulped down 3 L of pure water, just to fill up the last bit of space in my stomach. Just because in my past life, my little brother could transfer all the calories he ate into my body smiling and eating big in front of the camera, becoming a food streamer with amazing capacity while I gained weight to 150 kilograms. I could barely breathe while walking. I begged my fiancée to believe me, but she shook my hand in disgust. He's just jealous that your brother can eat whatever he wants and not gain weight. Stop using that absurd excuse to justify your own laziness. Later, my brother live-streamed a challenge of eating 100 giant burgers in a row, garnering a lot of attention, while I died of a heart attack in the ambulance. On the way to the hospital, I opened my eyes again. I had returned to the day my brother signed up to become a food streamer. At this moment, my younger brother, Djibouti, was holding a contract in the living room. He was so happy. Dad, Mom, I made it. Penguin Media saw my potential and wants to make me the #1 in the food industry. My parents' faces lit up with smiles. That's my son. He's always eaten a lot and still doesn't gain weight. This talent should be seen by the entire nation. Boda, don't worry. Family fully supports you. My fiancée, Yuyan, was also standing to the side, with undisguised admiration and affection for Djibouti in her eyes. She walked over and stroked Djibouti's head affectionately. Boda, I knew you could do it. What? It's all thanks to my brother. If it weren't for my brother accompanying me to eat so many things since I was a child, I wouldn't have developed such a good appetite. In an instant, all eyes were on me. My father's approval turned to Jang. You should learn from your brother. Look how fat you've gotten. You're like 2 peas in a pod. How come your bodies are so different? If you had any willpower you wouldn't embarrass Liu Yan when she takes you out. Liu Yan's gaze towards me was full of disgust. I lowered my eyes, clenched my fists. 150 kilograms of weight, the suffocating feeling of an acute myocardial infarction, the piercing sound of the ambulance siren. Those painful memories were deeply engraved in my soul. In my past life, it was at this moment that I tried to explain this strange truth to them. I tell them, every bite of high-calorie food Djibouti eats ends up turning into the fat that grows on me, but none of them believe me. They just think I'm crazy, that I've become unrecognizable because of jealousy. I won't do that stupid thing again this time. I slowly raised my head. Congratulations, brother. The smile on Djibouti's face froze for a moment. He didn't expect me to not burst into tears like before because of my parents' criticism. Yuyan also looked a little surprised, but she quickly attributed it to my maturity. She came over and looked down on me. Yeah, Cheng, you better understand. The wedding race is just starting. As a brother, you should support him, instead of causing him trouble. I nod. I get it. To celebrate the wedding contract, we're going to eat at Yupinge restaurant tonight. Dad waved his hand generously and directly booked the most expensive private restaurant in the city. Djibouti cheered immediately. Thank you, Dad. And also Mr. Pork spat out a series of more than a dozen names of greasy and heavy dishes. Every time he said one, my heart tightened. In my previous life, it was this celebration dinner that caused my weight to skyrocket by 5 kilograms directly. It was also from that day on that Djibouti's live broadcast career went from strength, while my health was completely dragged into the abyss. I looked at him with his excited face and felt a freezing cold in my heart. Djibouti, this time it's your turn to taste this flavor. The dinner was full of dishes. Djibouti's eyes were shining. Wow, this braised knuckle is so tender. This crab is so aromatic. He ate while showering his parents with exaggerated praise, which made them look at him with smiles. Sony with smiles. Mom tenderly served him a large piece of knuckle. Yuyan also peeled a shrimp for him considerately. The 3 of them were happy together, while I was like an unnecessary decoration on the table. Djibouti was eating while glancing at me, noticing I wasn't eating anything. He turned to his parents and Liuan, feigning concern. Brother, why aren't you eating? Are you still angry about what Mom and Dad said to you during the day? Don't be angry with Mom and Dad. They're doing it for your own good too. You really need to control your figure. Instantly, the warm atmosphere at the table froze. Dad's face darkened. Now Chen, what kind of tantrum are you throwing again? The family is enjoying a happy meal. Who do you have to show that face to? Even Boda is advising you so sensibly. Still, you don't know how good it is and you don't eat. Look at all that meat you have. Fast for 2 meals and you won't starve to death. Liuan's gaze was even colder than ice. Now Cheng, you can be a little more mature. Boda will soon be a public figure. You, as his relative, can't be so childish. Every reproach was identical to the ones in my previous life, but I didn't refute. I simply covered my chest, letting out a cry of suppressed pain. My body swayed. My face instantly turned pale. Yuyan asked impatiently, what's wrong with you now? My chest feels so tight. I can't breathe. My belly is also very swollen. I feel really bad. As I said that, I made a gagging gesture. This appearance was exactly the same as the symptoms before my heart attack in my previous. For the first time, Djibouti's face showed panic. Mom and Dad were also scared. You weren't okay just now. You're not pretending, are you? I didn't have the strength to speak anymore. Instead, my breathing became increasingly ragged. Yui looked at my pale face. His gaze also changed from impatience to a hint of hesitation. It doesn't seem like I'm pretending. Dad finally made up his mind. Okay, don't eat anymore. To the hospital. On the way to the hospital, Djibouti didn't say a word. He was staring at me intently the entire time. He couldn't figure it out. He was clearly the one eating. Why was I suddenly showing signs of indigestion and even a palpitation? While I, with my eyes closed, felt the fat and calories inside my body. Djibouti, this is just the beginning. All the pain you've inflicted on me, I will repay you doubled. Upon arriving at the hospital, I was sent straight to the emergency room. I insisted on having the most thorough checkup, while I waited for the results. Yan and my parents were waiting outside. My mother's patience was obviously about to run out. I think he's overreacting. He must have gotten dizzy from his recent diet. My father's face was also gloomy. When the results come out, if it's nothing, you'll see what I tell him. He loves to tease people. Yuyan didn't say anything, but her frown said it all. Just Jiboda. Her gaze was erratic. She was afraid that something beyond her understanding was happening. Soon, the nurse came out with a stack of reports. Who are Wei Cheng's relatives? We are my parents, and they immediately came over. The nurse's expression was very serious. The patient's condition is not good. Come with me for a moment. This sentence stunned the three people in the hallway. They followed the nurse into the doctor's office. Not long after, my mother's incredulous voice resounded from the office. What? Severe fatty liver, high cholesterol. Blood sugar is also seriously elevated. Doctor, there must be a mistake. My son is only 22 years old, and he also has arrhythmia. This is impossible. My parents and Liu Yan came out dejectedly. Their gazes towards me were full of complexity and confusion. Jiboda also came over and asked anxiously how I was. What did the doctor say? Mom stammered, unable to utter a word for a long time. Lu Ruyan approached me step by step. Her gaze was no longer simple. And Chen, what exactly is going on? The doctor said, your body data resembles that of a 50-year-old who has overeaten for years, but tonight you clearly haven't eaten anything. I don't know either. I've been controlling my diet lately. I only eat boiled vegetables every day and exercise for an hour. I don't know why my body has become like this. I'm so scared. As I was speaking, I squeezed out a few tears at just the right moment. My words threw Lu Ruyan into even greater confusion. Yes, she saw it with her own eyes. I haven't had a bite all night. How can a normal person on a diet suddenly get such terrifying health data? This doesn't make any sense at all. Just then Jiboda suddenly spoke. His voice had a tearful tone, full of grievance. Brother, have you been eating something secretly from us? I know you're not feeling well. You're just jealous that I can eat without getting fat, but you can't use self-destruction to get revenge on us. Her speech is a supreme example of the art of green tea. She washes her hands of it completely and labels me as a compulsive liar again. Sure enough, Dad and Mom Yuyan's gaze wavers again. That's definitely the case. I already thought it was impossible for her to control her mouth. She must have secretly stuffed herself with junk food. Dad also points at me with pain and dismay. And, Cheng Yang, you've disappointed us so much. Liu Yan's gaze towards me also turns cold again. And Chen, I really was wrong about you. In order to attract attention, to embarrass your brother, you dare to lie in this self-destructive way? You're too cruel. I look at their faces, without the slightest disturbance in my heart. I knew it would be like this. Distorting the truth is their favorite trick. I didn't argue any further. I just raised my head to look at Jiboda. He's hiding behind Mom, looking at me with a defiant attitude like a victor. I smiled at him silently. Jiboda, don't be hasty. The best is yet to come. After returning from the hospital, the atmosphere at home froze. My parents forbade me to go out. They confiscated my phone and wallet. They said they wanted to completely eliminate the possibility of me eating snacks on the sly. Liu Wen directly announced that she will not see me again. Before we calm down, they think they can stop me this way, but they don't know that the weapon I need most has always hung from my neck. It is a small white jade pendant that my grandmother ordered for us when Jiboda and I were born, to bring us good luck. In the previous life, Jiboda said that he liked the style of my jade better, and with begging and pleading he changed it for me. From then on, the calories he devoured began to transfer into my body without ceasing. It was not until I died that I knew that this jade was the core of the entire strange event. When I was reborn, the first thing I did was to check my pendant. It was still hanging securely around my neck, and the one that it was on Jiboda's neck. I guess these two jades are like a kind of receiver and transmitter. And now I need to find a way to turn it on and reverse it. The incident at the hospital gave me some ideas. At the hospital gate I pretended to stagger. On purpose, I grabbed Jiboda's arm and held this jade tightly in my palm. Maybe physical contact, coupled with my intense intention, is the key to activating it. I need more opportunities to test it. The opportunity came soon. Jiboda's live debut was postponed due to my interruption, but Penguin Miriam did not give up on him. They planned an even grander live broadcast challenge. Eat 10 bowls of spicy chicken noodles in an hour. For this live broadcast, the company carried out comprehensive packaging and preheating. Various search trends whetted netizens' appetites. Yes. On the day of the live broadcast, Jiboda especially came to my room before the broadcast began. His face showed unabashed pride. Brother, it's about to start, my live broadcast. You have to watch it carefully. He came up to me and looked down on me. The company bought me the best promotion slot. After tonight, I will be a real internet celebrity, while you can only be locked up in this small room like now. He came up to me, lowered his voice, and said in a volume that only the two of us could hear, and Cheng, you know? What I like the most is seeing you, jealous and unable to do anything about it. The more you suffer, the more excited I get. Every bit of fat on your body is a medal of my success. I raised my head, staring at him with his evil face. I didn't say anything. Only when he turned to leave did I suddenly stand up. Wait, what do you want now? I walked towards him. I stretched out my hand, pretending to fix his slightly messy collar by. The collar was a little wrinkled. Just at the moment my fingers touched his collar, my other hand tightly gripped the Jado pendant. An icy feeling was injected into my fingers. I concentrated all the hatred from my past and present life into this moment. I withdrew my hand. I smiled indifferently. I wish you a successful live broadcast. Jiboda looked at me suspiciously. After finding nothing unusual, he turned around and walked out. I looked at his back. I slowly let out a sigh. This time the reversal should have succeeded. Then I took out my computer and entered Jiboda's live broadcast room. At this moment, there were already hundreds of thousands of people online. The comments were full of expectations and praise for him. Jiboda greeted everyone with a sweet smile. Then he took out 10 bowls of spicy chicken noodles piled up like a small mountain. Jiboda announced excitedly. I'm going to challenge you today. To eat them all. In the blink of an eye he ate a bowl of noodles. He ate with relish. There didn't seem to be any problem at all. There was an exclamation in the comments. Fuck, what spicy noodles. He didn't even blink. Unbelievable. This guy is made of iron. You even gave him 10 carnivals? Attracting a wave of sisters-in-law. What a beautiful cry. I stared at the screen silently, watching Jiboda gulp down those high-fat, high-salt, high-calorie foods bite after bite, and my body didn't feel that greasy feeling. Instead, I felt an unprecedented lightness and comfort. I could even feel that the fat accumulated in my abdomen for years seemed to whoosh boom up slightly and then slowly dissipate. It worked. It really worked. My gaze returned to the screen. Jiboda had already finished his third bowl of noodles. Sweat began to break out on his forehead, but he explained that it was because of the spiciness, but I could clearly see that it was not hot sweat, but cold and greasy sweat. His face too began to turn a bit red in a rather unnatural way. When he reached the fifth bowl, his speed slowed down noticeably. He began to drink water nonstop. The smile on his face also became a little stiff. Some dissonant voices began to appear in the chat. Don't you feel that Bota has a little difficulty? Yes, his face even seemed to be swollen. It's an illusion, isn't it? It's probably because of the spiciness. It's not an illusion. I saw that his clothes had already started to get tight. When he reached the seventh bowl, a sudden change occurred. He suddenly covered his mouth. A gigantic roar came from his stomach. This sound spread throughout the entire live broadcast. Everyone heard it. Jiboda's face suddenly turned white. He wanted to forcefully suppress that feeling of disgust, but the body's instinctive reaction cannot be controlled by willpower. He staggered out of the shot. Immediately after, loud vomiting could be heard in the live broadcast. The broadcast was interrupted. After 3 seconds of silence, the entire broadcast room completely exploded. I didn't hear wrong, right? The stream vomited. In 10- bowl challenge, and he vomited on the 7th. This is called a big eater. The previous top searches must have been bought. His public image collapsed too quickly. Insults and mockery flooded the entire screen like a tide. Jiboda's first official live broadcast. A resounding failure heralds the end. I turned off the computer, sighed deeply. A long-awaited lightness ran through my body. Jiboda's live broadcast ended in disaster, resulting in an overnight loss of hundreds of thousands of followers from his account. The comment section was full of people calling him a liar. My father, on that day, paced the living room in a fit of fury, uttering pointless, cross-Sherlin curses endlessly. My mother hugged Jiboda, crying inconsolably. Jiboda cried breathlessly. Mom, I don't know what happened. I could clearly still eat, but suddenly, my stomach swelled up so much. I feel so bad. It's all Yang's fault. It must have been something he did. He suddenly raised his head, staring at me. He touched me before the broadcast. He must have done something to me. My mother immediately ran towards me, raising her hand to hit me. Damn Jinx, I knew it was you. You can't stand it when your brother is doing well. You're the one who ruined his future. I didn't dodge. I just looked at my mother calmly. Do you have proof? My mother's slap stopped in midair. Yes. Where's the proof? I just touched her neck. How could that be proof? Me with superpowers. Me making people vomit with my mind. Who would believe that? My mother was speechless. My father roared too. What more proof do you need? So many things have happened in this family. Nothing has happened without you being involved. First it was the physical examination, then the live broadcast. And Chen, you're a calamity. Just then Luyan, Jiboda arrived. The moment he saw her, it was like seeing a savior. She rushed into his arms crying. Sister Royan, my career is ruined. It's all my brother's fault. Yuyan hugged him and comforted him softly. His gaze towards me was filled with cold disappointment and determination. And Chen, let's talk. He led me to the balcony. Now Chen, let's break off our engagement. He didn't hesitate for a moment. My heart didn't flinch. I even wanted to laugh. In my previous life, he did this too. When I needed him the most. He abandoned me without mercy. Why? Look at you now. You're fat and lazy and narrow-minded. You maliciously envy your own brother. Look at Bota. He's so hardworking, so radiant, fighting with all his might for his dreams. You don't deserve me, much less the position of future head of the G family. He said it with all the reason on his side, as if I were the unforgivable sinner. I really was blind to think that. You were calm and sensible before. Now I realize that it wasn't calmness, it was melancholy. You have an ugly monster living inside you. It can't stand anyone being better than you. Now Chang, you disgust me. After saying the last sentence he turned around and left without any remorse on ice. I looked at his back and suddenly said, Luan, you'll regret it. Today you're giving up the only chance you'll have in your life to get closer to the truth. Liu Yan's shoulders tensed, but in the end he didn't turn around. In the living room, Jiboda was still dreaming. Yu Yan approached him and said tenderly, Bota, don't be afraid, you have me. If that broadcasting company doesn't work out, we'll switch to another one. Father has a friend who's the director of Senk Entertainment. I'll take you to find him tomorrow. Bota's eyes lit up. Senk Entertainment. That's one of the biggest entertainment powerhouses in the country. It's more than 10 times bigger than Tango Media. Really? Of course, Sister Ruyan. Whatever you want, I'll help you get it. But his tone changed. His gaze became very intense. We must find a way to completely get rid of this problem. Their gazes fell on me at the same time. I laughed coldly inwardly. Get rid of me? Great, I'll see how they get rid of me. The next day, Jiboda and Liu Ruyan went to Sentainment and my parents kept an even closer eye on me. They even installed a lock on bedroom door. Except to bring me food. I wasn't allowed to leave the room even for a single step. I, on the other hand, enjoyed the peace and quiet. I took advantage of this time to thoroughly study the power of this jade pendant. I discovered that reversing this power requires consuming my own mental energy. Every time I activate it, I feel tired. and the effect of the reversal seems to be related to my distance from Jibota. The closer I am, the stronger the effect is. If it is only activated indirectly through charged objects, the effect is greatly reduced and there will also be a delay. Just like in that live broadcast of spicy chicken noodles, Jibota exploded after eating 7 bowls. If I had been by his side at that moment, I probably would have thrown up after taking the first bite. I need a chance to come into contact with him up close and for a long time. And at an event with a lot of attention, I'm going to ruin his reputation, so that he never recovers. By nightfall, Jibota and Liu Ruyan returned. Both of them had a look of joy on their faces. Dad, Sensi Entertainment has signed me. They say that my metabolism that allows me to eat without gaining weight is very interesting and has a lot to talk about. They are preparing to create a reality show tailored to me. What show? Calorie Limit. The show team will invite nutrition experts and fitness trainers. They will fully supervise Boda's diet and body data. They want to prove to the entire network that Boda is the chosen one. He is a real calorie black hole. The first live broadcast venue will be set up at Wanda Plaza in the city center. 100 viewers will also be invited to interact on the spot. In the room, my heart was moved. Live broadcast at Wanda Plaza, 100 viewers. Isn't this the stage I've always dreamed of? Jibota obviously thought of something too. He walked to the door of my room and said, with a smug tone through the door, "Brother, did you hear? In order to completely eliminate the suspicion that I'm pretending to eat, this live broadcast will use the most accurate human body composition analyzer. It will monitor all of my body data in real time, and will also be projected onto the big screen in the square. This time, let's see how you can sabotage me." He paused. His tone turned grim. "Oh, by the way, Liu Ruyan also convinced the program team to invite you as a special guest to witness my success on the spot. She said she wanted you to see with your own eyes how I trample you and reach the top. You must come. Oh my dear brother." Her complacent laughter came from outside the door. I leaned against the door and slowly closed my eyes. "Evan is really helping me. Hyoda, Yuya. This stage that you have prepared for me, I like very much. I will give you, and also all the viewers, an unforgettable performance nights." On the day of the live broadcast was set for that weekend. My parents took me to Wanda Plaza as if I were a prisoner under escort. Thousands of people gathered at the venue. Yu Ruyan just looked at me with disdain when she saw me. "And Chen, open your eyes wide. Look carefully. Look how big the difference is between you and Boda." I ignored her, just staring silently at the stage. Soon, the protagonist Jibota made a dazzling appearance amidst the cheers of the crowd. He looks full of confidence, with a radiant smile. "Hello everyone. I'm Hibota." Following the process, he must first perform an initial body data measurement. He steps onto the precise apparatus. A series of data quickly appears on the big screen. Height 168 centimeters, weight 45 kilograms, body fat 18.2% on TD. All the data is perfect. The nutrition experts present were amazed by the data. They say that it is a perfect metabolic constitution that occurs once every 100 years. Next is today's highlight, my extreme calorie challenge. The staff 3. Today's main course. A mountain made of hamburgers, fried chicken, french fries and soft drinks. According to expert estimates, the total energy of this mountain of food exceeds 20,000 calories. The intake of an average adult male in a week is no more than that. What Hibota has to do is eat it all in 2 hours. So, Ninihia Bana begins. With the host's order, Hibota takes a beef burger and begins his performance. He eats quickly and elegantly. Each bite is like filming a food commercial. He interacts with the host while eating. He seems to be moving with ease. Time passes second by second. The food on the table decreases at a visible speed and Jibotan does not seem to change at all. He is still slim, full of energy. The real-time data on the big screen shows that his weight has even slightly decreased by 0.1 kilograms due to the consumption of body water. The entire audience is elated. My goodness, what kind of divine constitution is this? He really doesn't get fat. It's incredible. His parents look at him with pride. Liu Ruyan, he looks at me with satisfaction. "Do you see, Jie Cheneng? This is the truth. It's science. Your ridiculous lies are indefensible in the face of the truth." However, my gaze has always been fixed on Jibota. On stage, I clutched the jade pendant in my pocket. The moment is drawing near. Just as Jibota took the last piece of pizza, I stepped onto the stage. My actions immediately caught everyone's attention. Who is that man? How fat? He seems to be Jibota's brother. The security guard wanted his life to stop me, but Luyan winked at them to let me pass. He probably thinks I'm here to go on stage and publicly confess and apologize to Jibota. What he wants to see is my shameful and ugly condition. I stepped onto the stage. I stopped just 3 steps away from Jibota. Jibota saw me. He was stunned, but it was quickly replaced by complacency. "Brother, why did you come up? Have you thought it through? Are you ready to apologize to me in front of an audience national?" I looked at him and smiled. "No, I went up to give you a gift." As I said that, I stretched out my hand, not to touch him, but to point to the precise instrument at his feet. "Jibota, do you dare to go up and measure yourself again right now?" My words stunned everyone. Jibota's face changed instantly. He subconsciously took a step back. You, what nonsense are you talking about? I'm on a challenge. Measuring." Liuan, who was below the stage, also frowned and shouted sternly. "And Cheng, don't talk nonsense. Come down quickly." I didn't pay any attention to it. I just watched Jibota approaching the step by step. My hand clenched tightly and said, "Stop." It was already starting to heat up. I injected all my mental energy and hatred into it. I don't want to delay this time. I want an instant explosion. Why don't you dare? Aren't you a black hole of calories? Weren't you born to not get fat? 20,000 calories should be nothing to you, right, eh? Or maybe what you eat. I paused intentionally and then hinted at something, slapping my obese body in a... Jibota's pupils contracted sharply and he shouted, "Shut up! Are you crazy? His outburst caused the atmosphere on stage to become strange. The audience began to murmur, "What's going on? What did your brother mean by what he just said?" I didn't understand either. It seemed like he was implying something. The media cameras were also focused on us. Liuan finally couldn't sit still. She rushed onto the stage. She wanted to get me out of there. "Chen, don't you think you've caused enough of a stir already?" Just as his hand was about to touch me, a mutation occurred. Jiboda on the stage suddenly let out a miserable scream. His face showed an expression of extreme pain and terror. "My stomach is so swollen." He bent over. His body began to shake violently under everyone's horrified gaze. He was like a balloon that was rapidly inflating. Every part was expanding crazily. In just 10 seconds, he became a fat guy even fatter than me. Everyone was speechless at this strange and terrifying scene. The data on the big screen began to jump frantically. Weight 45 kilograms, 60 kilograms, 150. Body fat percentage 18%, 35%, 55. Finally, the numbers stopped. Weight to 58.8 kilograms, body fat percentage 78.9%. A shocking figure. Enough to be life-threatening. Jiboda collapsed to the ground, screaming like crazy. "No, this is not me. This is not true. Give me back my figure. Give it back to me." The audience below. Angry shouts of reproach rose one after another, saying that he is a scammer. Luan was also completely stunned. His eyes were filled with unprecedented fear and confusion. He remembered what I had told him before. The truth, this is the truth. His lips trembled as he pointed at me, unable to utter a single word for a long time. While I had simply stood there in the center of the stage, I had now become a mess. Feeling an unprecedented lightness in my body, I looked down at myself, seeing my waist noticeably smaller. I smiled. I smiled incomparably radiantly, incomparably pleased. "Jiboda, now you continue to love this badge of success that you are wearing." My voice was not loud, but it was clearly transmitted through the microphone to the entire square. Jiboda's cries and wails abruptly stopped. He raised his head, now with features blurred by obesity, and stared at me furiously. "It was you. It was you who did it. It was you who gave me my fat back." I slowly approached him. "Now you understand. Too late. Don't you like overeating? Don't you like watching me suffer? From today onwards, every bite I eat will be deposited intact into your own body. Enjoy it well, my dear brother. Bask in the glory of these 150 kilograms that truly belong to you." With that said, I stood up, without even looking at her again, and walked down the stage step by step. Yui seemed to have suddenly woken up, pounced on me and grabbed my wrist. "And Chen, what's going on? Tell me. That's not true, isn't it?" She refused to believe that Jiboda, whom she had always pampered, was actually a thief who stole the figures of others through strange methods. And she even less wanted to believe that her fiancé, whom she had always hated and despised, was the innocent victim. I looked at her remorseful face and only found it ridiculous. "Yuyan, I told you, you'll regret it. Now the game begins, and you've lost even the right to be a spectator." I let go of her hand and walked into the chaotic crowd without looking back. Behind me was Jiboda's desperate cry. It was Liuan, a murmur of pain. It was the hustle and bustle of the whole world, and my world was quieter than ever.